I'm going to go to America. I don't know how am I going to get there, but I'm going to go. I'm not delivering this baby here. This baby is going to be delivered in America.
Right. I'm doing it.
We went to Canada, then through a truck and trailer. That's where I am, 8 months old, pregnant, with her here, hidden in the boxes behind the curtains.
Praying she doesn't cry or say a word.
I would say the whole search, for me, it felt like a whole entire life. And I hear a noise, boom, boom, twice. You know how they knock on it? Like, you're free, you're good, you're clear.
Get out of here.
And I'm talking to the driver. I said, can I come out? He's like, absolutely not, don't move. They're watching us.
Typically, you're so successful because there is no failure. You're going to keep moving. You're going to keep
Roll
showing
in.
up every day.
Roll in.
Yeah.
You can't.
There is no backup.
You're burning the boat. You're taking the island. That's it.
There is no failure. I attach my success to my inputs and not my outputs. And that's what I learned when I grew up. It wasn't about like how much money did this job make you. It was about the fact that you showed up, and even if it made you nothing, you knew that like you just put in the same rep the next day. When you're all in on something, you just see the potential in anything you do. Like I could have chosen anything, and I know I would have been successful because I was raised with that like
That mentality.
input.
I'm really pumped. We obviously got our co-host with us, Chris, today. What's up, man?
What's up, everybody?
We got Theoni in the building. We got Orjana in the building, aka
hello.
Mom's in the building.
Yes.
So you guys have such a great story. I'm so pumped to break this. I said to Chris before you guys got here, I'm like, are we gonna like break this? Is like ice gonna come here? Like, what's gonna happen? I don't know. Is that okay? Like,
Yeah.
Can we talk about this?
She's told it on stage, so I mean.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
I think we're good.
Yeah,
I love
you're
it.
good.
And I told the story. So, we're going to get into this. This podcast is just juicy. It's fiery. It's amazing already. But like, we're going to talk about smuggling into this country at some point. At some point down
At
the
some
line.
point, a little bit.
But I will tell you though. So I think I told you this. I didn't tell your mom this obviously when we spoke. But like, I have a friend who is Colombian, and he's one of my best friends who's in the military, and I've known this guy for maybe 10, 15 years, right? And I've never been to like a family party of his. So one day he goes, hey, we're having this barbecue. I want you to come by, right? So I bring my wife. I'm like, all right, cool. So we get there, and it's all Colombians, like just like you would picture in the movies, right? Like Spanish music's playing, they're dancing, doing salsa, great food. And we're sitting there, and they start telling war stories about how they got smuggled into the country. and me and Jacqueline are just sitting here like, we're the only like Colombians in the building. But the stories were so like intense, right? Like, and so that's why when Chris started telling me about your story and your stories, I was like, man, that's such a good story, and I want to share it. So before we dive in, so that's what's to come. But before we dive in, for people like, who the hell is Theoni? Let's start with you first.
Yeah. So first off, thank you for having me on the show. This is so exciting. I'm so excited to be here. We almost did this over a Zoom, and so I'm glad we didn't.
I pulled the e-break.
We had to.
I'm like, we ain't doing this.
Yeah.
I'm also known as Not Your Daddy's Lender as well. So that's kind of my brand. Yes, we love that.
Can we elaborate on why that's the name?
Yes. So I've been in mortgage for 10 years. I got in when I was 18. And so as you can imagine, I was younger. And when somebody told me something about our team, this was a couple years ago, they were like, man, you guys do things a little bit like, not really like my grandfather's mortgage banker would. And I was like, yeah, like actually I don't. And the word daddy was such a buzzword during that time. So this was about 3 years ago.
Daddy.
I was going to say call her daddy was blowing up that same year. And I was like, I'm taking that word and I'm going to implement it in our industry. That is a bunch of boring terms. And quite frankly, a lot of older men dominate the industry still.
Fair enough.
So if it makes them uncomfortable, I'm doing something right, and it does.
Facts.
A little bit.
Making waves,
Love it.
Theoni.
And your sister, Oriana. So,
Thank you. I'm the youngest sister, actually. Thank you. I got a lot of those during the trip to New York. So yes, thank you.
So tell us about yourself. So what do you do? What's your story? Tell us about you.
I'm an entrepreneur. I own a restaurant. I work in the kitchen. I have 3 daughters, 2 beautiful grandkids,
Thanks,
2 son-in-laws.
Thanks, you.
It's my brother and I, my parents. We migrated from Albania in 2001.
I was 4.
She was 4
So
years
I was
old,
born over there.
and I was pregnant 8 months with my second child,
Oh, you're the oldest, Theoni?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
the oldest.
as you can see.
Yeah.
You can probably tell. I have that energy.
Yeah. You got big sister energy.
First child.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes, the first child syndrome. So
Better than middle child syndrome.
Yeah, actually.
we have one of those.
Yeah.
She agrees
to
better.
live her in New York. We did not need that energy today.
I thought they were coming. I was like, we're gonna have an audience here.
They actually were thinking about it. Yeah.
They were
Really?
thinking about it.
And then
But you
said-
don't want the middle child.
This is the
syndrome.
energy we want.
I brought you.
She would have wanted to be in here.
Yeah, she would've.
Probably,
I'm on the
yeah.
show.
She would have
Yes.
been on the show.
Probably.
We got
She
her
would
on
have
the
been
seat.
here. Yeah, she
We
would
would have popped her in. It would have had to been a pop job. I have to pop her in.
And then
my
number
God.
3 is something else.
Different planet.
Oh yeah.
Just more talkative than these two combined.
Yeah.
That's
Imagine.
that's the generation.
But I have to highlight one thing that you said, Orjana. So you said I have 3 daughters and 2 beautiful grandkids.
I know.
And it's so funny how the grandkids, that's how it happens. Like I'm non-existent to my parents.
No, not anymore.
I only because I have 3 under 3. Me and my wife.
Okay.
So we have 3 little kids, twins, and then a 2 and
Congratulations.
a 3-year-old now. And thank you. And literally now it's like she'll come in and what's up, mom? Walk right past me. Where's Johnny, Vienna, Vincenzo? I'm not here for you.
Yep.
You know.
Or when they call and it's a FaceTime and
Yes.
they like you answer it because it's your phone.
Right.
And they're like,
where's the kids?
and they look surprised, and I'm like, "Are you surprised you called my phone and see me?" And they're like,
Who did
"Where
you
are the
expect to
children?"
It's me. Hello.
I say, why have kids when you can have grandkids?
Right.
You
Right.
gotta have the
the
kids to
best.
have the
Because you can give them
grandkids,
back.
bro.
Give them back.
They're the best.
How far now? Like how far are you guys from each other? Like a drive from where you are in
like
Delaware to
2 hours,
2 hours and a half. Yeah,
Yeah.
2
Got it.
half
Okay.
hours.
Okay.
So it's a quality time when you get to come see them.
That is correct. But the majority of time
they
they come to see me.
I was like,
because
your
she's very
restaurant.
occupied.
Restaurant's like intense.
Yes.
I'm pretty much married to that thing.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
that
I'm there
business, you
every
definitely
day, all day.
That's where
Right.
I started my entire. I went to school for hospitality management.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's my world. Like I started in hotels, but I really fell in love with food and beverage. So what kind of restaurant is it?
It's an Italian restaurant.
All
Nice.
Albanians own Italian
All
restaurants.
Albanians.
Oh,
And we
100%.
all work in it. Mom, dad,
Everybody.
The whole
my
family.
crew.
The whole family.
Yeah, my
brother.
grandparents.
Are you a
everyone.
cook?
I am the chef, yes.
You are.
I am the chef.
I love that.
And everything
Well, chef,
else
you
that
should have
comes
told us,
with
chef. We've been calling you Oriana this whole time.
it. It's okay.
Mom,
We're-
chef, or
grandma,
like
no,
you said,
no.
many
Yeah.
hats.
Yeah,
many
many
hats,
hats.
many names.
Which one do you
Exactly.
want today?
Now, back in
Exactly.
Albania, were you a chef there too? Like you've always been inspired?
No, my parents had a restaurant, so we pretty much grew up in a restaurant business.
Okay.
My brother and I. But then we thought that all the hours that our parents put in, we're like, we're not going to do this.
Yeah.
We're never going to do this.
Oh, so-
And guess what?
Flash
Sure,
forward.
hands up that way.
You become like your parents. whether
When
you
you're
like
good
it
at
or not.
something, you know.
It's
You
in your
rinse and
blood.
repeat.
It's in your blood, but it's a lot of work and a lot of hours. And pretty much it's a sacrifice. You got to, of
course.
You got to pick and choose.
Right, of course. Now, in that game, so what time do you guys have a bar there?
Yes.
So you guys stay open until like 11 or like 12?
We open at 11 every day.
And what time do you close?
We close whenever the
Last guest?
last guest leaves. Probably
love it.
9:30, 10 o'clock.
Okay. So,
you're
uh,
there till
When the
midnight,
cash
though,
register
cleaning
stops
up clothes
ringing.
and everything.
In the beginning,
of course.
it was.
I was
Now
gonna say
it's efficient.
that's how you know you're an immigrant
Which
in
is
this country.
not a cash register anymore because
right.
it's all
cha-ching.
credit cards.
It's all
yeah.
credit cards, right?
But yeah,
But you know that's what I love though about like my family is immigrants. You know my
Italian.
No, I'm Portuguese. So I'm the United Nations. So I am.
but you're
I'm
Vincenzo.
Italian.
Oh, you're Italian?
Italian.
I would have
Yeah,
never.
John
known.
my wife is Italian though. My wife's Italian. That's why. So, but I'm
So you're Portuguese?
yes, I'm Portuguese. I'm Portuguese, Irish, Polish, Austrian, German, Israeli.
Wow.
A
Yeah.
mutt.
Yeah, a complete mutt.
United
And that, by
Nations.
the way, that's of my actual family that I speak to and know, not Ancestry.com. When you go to Ancestry.com, there's
Forget it.
way more.
Yeah.
Like, also, I forgot Polish. We're Polish too. My mom is Irish, Polish, German, Austrian, and I think that's it. But anyway, so yeah, so we're like United Nations.
Oh,
But
wow.
100%. So I have legit family in all these places though, which is crazy.
Wow.
Right? So like when we like for perfect example, we do Christmas Eve every year. We have like 60 people just from family that
Oh,
are
wow.
local at least that attend this. Right? Like it's just
Where is
insane.
that hosted? Like
At
a
my
venue?
house.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah. We have a big house for that. I'm an entertainer.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like to turn up.
That's why I
Yeah.
thought you were Italian.
Yeah.
It-
no.
it makes
Yeah,
sense.
your
right?
body language and all that.
It's the
You're very
European in me,
Italian.
you know? It's the
No, no,
European.
it's
It's all
very
of the
Italian.
one.
Yeah.
The
hair,
hand.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
hair, the gesture. You know,
100%.
Yeah.
It's funny. I always
Animated.
get
Very
misprofiled two things. One is I walk in and they're like, "Oh, you're Italian." I'm like,
Yep.
no. The second, like, oh, you're an attorney? Oh, are you in real estate?
Is this slick?
Yeah. I'm like, no, I'm not an
Correct.
attorney. No, I'm not in real estate. Okay. But anyway,
But I can help you if you're an attorney or a realtor. Need a
if you want to make
website?
more money, I got you.
But you don't look Polish.
No, yeah. But my grandma, their whole side, you would not like. We don't even look alike. Completely like
That's
super Polish.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
And I love it.
Good to know.
That's
That's
your grandma
amazing.
who just turned 100, right?
No. She's
not
she's the
Italian.
Brazil. I didn't say Brazilian. We're Brazilian too. She's the Brazilian one. Yes.
It almost
United
feels,
Lives.
it almost
It is
feels
only
fake at
two
that
parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Only two. Only two. Yeah.
Wow.
Tons of grandkids.
So my great grandfather, I'm sorry, no, I don't know if he's great or great, whichever one it is.
Probably 2 grades
He's
ago.
the one from Israel that migrated to Brazil, met my great grandmother, who's still alive, so he's my great, and he slept around, so that's why like his last name Abucasis in Brazil. I have all these cousins everywhere in Brazil and in different countries. I'm not even kidding you. That like are like they'll message me and be like, "Yo, on Ancestry.com, like my brother's on it, not me." But, like they'll message my brother and be like, "Hey, we're related," and we're like, "What? Like,
No.
how?"
Yeah.
And they'll show us on like the Ancestry.com and then all this different stuff like 23andMe. You know, you can connect through the blood
Yes.
thing.
The little tree.
Like it'll be like, "This is how," and I'm like, "That's wild."
You're
yeah.
my third cousin.
That's
You're my
crazy.
third, fourth, whatever it is, like you know. But
23andMe kind of scares me a little bit, not gonna lie.
I never did it. That's why I'm not doing it. I don't want to be cloned.
You should.
You
no,
know?
I'd
With your
scary.
DNA, you definitely should to see who.
But I
Well, my
think
brother
23
does.
and me
Oh,
went out
yeah,
of
so
business.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so too.
I think they went out of business.
I'm pretty sure they
23andMe.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ancestry.
But
still
now,
in
but now,
business.
Okay.
who has that data?
Right.
The
They would
government
have-
took that data,
Whoever bought them.
right?
Bought 'em.
Pepsi.
Right. Who has
Now
that
they're
data?
marketing
Or
your-
Amazon. Amazon's one of the largest
Probably
Right.
data.
Yep.
That's what they are.
But that you know what's weird about that thing about Amazon? The other day, and maybe this is too personal, but I'm sitting in my sauna, and I'm just thinking, and I'm like, Jeff Bezos got to wake up, right? He's got to brush his teeth. You know, he's a normal human. He's got to, he wakes up, he takes a dump, whatever he's got to do. And this guy is just a normal guy, right?
Yeah.
But like has more money than God
Yeah.
and can do anything he wants. But like he's still just a human.
Yeah.
You know, that's just such a weird thing because like right now in our
It's a weird
area,
dynamic.
we have like Netflix and Paramount coming in like in Jersey, and we're starting to see a lot of celebrities like just walking around. Like my cousin ran into Tina Fey at the boardwalk.
Oh my
Oh, wow.
gosh.
Oh.
Imagine just like at a place that you normally go to, like
Yeah.
you just literally see Tina Fey, right? Like which
Walking
I love.
your
I'm
dog.
a big Tina Fey.
I
fan.
love Tina Fey.
Me too. My wife is obsessed. That's why I got onto it. But it's like you see people like, oh my god, it's that person, and it's like it's just a fucking person,
And it probably actually sucks for them.
right?
Like, I mean, imagine just being like, I really want to go to this boardwalk and just go to get fries
And walk and,
and
get some
walk
fresh
and
air.
get some fresh air. And like, you can't
Right.
because everybody knows you, but you don't know anybody.
That's how Rob does that every day.
Yeah.
He can't go anywhere, Rob. But you know, it's like one of those things where it's like it does have to suck because on your worst day, like this is the thing, like I joke around. So it's a joke in my company. There's one person. I have one fan of John Vigaro, right? Like this dude's like a cult John Vigaro. Like I'll show you guys DMs. He draws pictures of me every year
and sends
them to me, legit.
It's
And
dead
he's
serious.
like he loves me and I love him. He's my only fan. You know what I mean? Like, he's my only guy out there. He cares about me. You know what I mean?
John's only fan has one fan.
only fan. I took it seriously. Like,
only.
God only gave me one fan. But so anyway, so long story short, every year this dude like he'll hit me up or anytime I post something about my kids or whatever, he's always like, "Yo, I love it. Like this is great." Like But like I think about it where I'm like, imagine like even like on a social influencer level, like if you're somebody who's like a social influencer and you're out somewhere, like and somebody sees you, like that's like they're like taking pictures of you or they want to talk to you. Can we
No
get a picture?
privacy.
You
No
know, it's like
privacy.
In this
that's
world,
an
no.
issue.
Yeah.
It
You
is.
know, like
I agree.
that's not cool.
I saw a funny post in timeliness with the end of Stranger Things and everything. I saw a post with Maya, who is Ethan Hawke's daughter. And she was talking about walking down the street and somebody kind of stopped them and was just like, "Oh my God, it's..." And Ethan Hawke stepped up and was like, no, like I'm out. I don't want any pictures or whatever. And the person looked at him and said, I don't know who you are. I want to talk to Robin. And just because of her character on a show, she was never known as a famous person. Like
Right.
the person who recognized her doesn't even know that her father's been in movies for 30 plus years. But that 10-year run of her being on a show has completely changed her entire ability to walk throughout the world.
Yeah.
She was just walking down the street with her dad, and now people want pictures of her, when in the past it would be, hold on, honey, I have to take a picture with this
And
fan.
now it's different.
And now it's completely opposite. And it was funny because she kind of made the realization, like, holy shit, this is a big show. I'm more important than my dad, who's been in production for
For this
30 plus
long.
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's wild.
it's very weird becoming a micro influencer or an influencer of any sort, because you do get those
Well,
eyes on you.
In business though,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Because the challenge is this: like in business, you want to have that publicity from a business perspective, right? Like you want people to be like, oh my gosh, like there's Theoni, right? Not your daddy's lender, right? But then at the same time, it's that delicate balance where it's like, because if you build a strong enough brand where if you were actually out somewhere and somebody said, yo, that's not your daddy's lender right there, right? Like that's cool, because then you have enough notoriety where you're probably getting a lot of business,
Right.
Right? Like 'cause
Exactly.
in business, not just social influence, but in business, if people know you to that extent, like you're going to get more business,
Correct.
right? But then there's that delicate balance where it's like, well, okay, you start kind of getting like people saying shit, right? Like, oh, well, there she is, like let's take a picture, whatever. And like with us, like I put up a bunch of billboards recently because I'm like testing traditional
awesome.
marketing. Yeah, I said to myself over the years, because
Like
we
back
invest
in the days.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I said, you know what? We invest a lot of money on marketing every month for the past 18 years, right? But I've always done digital because that's my world. So this year, one of my buddies is a vendor for billboards, and he's like, listen, like just try. Like I think you would like it. And I always said, and I believe in it. And you should actually do boards, because if
I have a thought on this.
If you have not your daddy's lender on there, like that's going to be like a wow.
It's
like,
a disruptor. You're driving
it's a
and
disruptor.
you see that. It's like, what?
Your face
Yes.
plus that on it.
Excuse me?
So
Yeah.
my whole thing was, because in the past I considered it, right? But I was like, you know what? Like I only want to do it when I can afford to do multiple. Because if you just do one, like it doesn't really make a ripple, right?
You just
but
lit
when
a
you
dollar on fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you'll get a couple people like, oh, I saw your thing, right? But for the people who don't know you, that are like, what is this? Like they have to see a ton of them. Like, wow, why do I keep seeing this lady everywhere I go? So fast forward, at this point now we just put up two more actually. So we're at almost 10 billboards right now.
Wow.
And the other day I'm at the park with my kids, right? And this one lady, and I didn't know, and she's local in my town, so if you're seeing this, I don't know, I don't know if she was smugly saying this, but I'm sitting there and I was playing with my kids. And by the way, I just cut my hair. My hair was longer than this. My wife hated it, so I had an afro.
He was trying to get hair like mine.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go that long.
man
He's got luscious locks. This guy, I wasn't going long, but my hair is really curly, so. My hair was an afro because the wind has been crazy up here and shit.
Yep.
So I look like shit. And this lady comes up to me, and she's like, "You're the billboard guy, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, this first time it's ever happened to me." So I was like, "Yeah, hey, what's up?" And she's like, "I see you on my way to work every day, right?" And not I see your boards everywhere. She was just like, "I see you every day on my way to work," and I was like, I'm sorry.
Can I can I help
welcome.
you?
Is this a bad? I'm like,
Do you need my services?
yeah, is this a bad thing? But it just that little instance, the more that I'm doing those, because again, I wanted to build my business, because again, I want to keep scaling this company for our team and for our clients. And so that's the kind of interesting thing too, right? At the same token too, is you get the delicate balance of when you have an altercation, right? With us, I recently, used the vendor that I was recommended to, and they did a shit job on something for me, and the dude is local to here, right? So and he sees me on billboards everywhere, and he talked about it when I first went to him, and I was like, hey, this guy recommended me to you, so I'm gonna go to you because you have the good price. So I was like, I'm gonna go to you for the good price, and then he wound up botching the whole thing, and it was a dispute, right? And it's now this guy's driving around town fuck you, probably to me, right?
Every
it's
corner he turns.
there's that interesting double-edged sword, right? But for me and my wife agreed that we want to do it for the business only, right? Because in the past it was let's do it in other ways, social, right? Let's build me as almost like a Gary Vee figure, right? Because obviously I have those lanes, I have an interesting story too. But then at the end of the day, I was I don't want that though. I don't want my kids to have to be oh well, dad's that person, or there's just so much that comes with that stuff.
Definitely.
But you should do boards. What was your thought on that?
So my husband has a marketing company too that I think we talked a little bit about this, and he does local ads, and so he hits up people who have billboards, and he asks them if if you have a billboard, why aren't you also running an ad? Because when you look at a billboard, people are like, oh yeah, that's cool. But he's like, that doesn't do anything besides spread your name. But
Right.
they want more. It's like people want to binge watch your stuff, which is my entire strategy behind
Yep.
why I post as much as I do.
Yep.
Because it's just like a Netflix show. People want to continue
sure.
to like
We
binge
Talk
your
about
stuff.
that all the time. Like
Yeah.
you need to
You need to do
become
both.
a Netflix show
Yeah.
on social.
100%.
For somebody to get in great.
We legitimately say that exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like,
and
literally.
You took the
verbatim.
words out of our mouths.
Yep.
Which I mean,
Verbatim.
and it's true because it's like the one thing you have as an entrepreneur is you get to choose social media as the avenue you go to every day. So it's like clocking into work. We don't get
Right.
a clock in every
Right.
day when we go into work. It's like your clock in is having a story on your Instagram daily.
Gotta grind.
So it's like, bro, if you can wake up and you're the main character of your own story that day, like you can make it feel that way. And it's so much more fun.
So much more fun.
100%.
It makes creating content not a labor, but something that you look forward to doing.
Yeah. Right.
So, with that said, though, I want to switch gears for a sec. So,
So wait, before you do, are you going to do billboards?
Yeah, but that's a
That's
goal
the
this
goal.
year. Yeah.
Yeah.
you should. But
Yeah.
my recommendation though is because what's your husband's name?
Philip.
Philip. So what Philip said. So the reason why mine are working so well are because I'm running very tailored ads.
Right.
That coordinate with every specific location.
That's awesome.
And people are like talking about it because they're like, oh my, like they're messaging us because like ours is like a DM campaign on Instagram, and so like they're DMing us being like, I can't escape you.
Right,
Like-
that's how they work. It's
Yes.
not just just the billboard
Yeah.
won't help because they can't interact with just the billboard.
Right.
Correct.
But if
But
they
to-
can't stop seeing you.
But to your sister's point, though, literally the one thing that like I would say though is that literally when you think about it though, you said it, you go, oh, the old school way, right?
The old
Billboards.
school way, yes.
But what I liked about it though was that anybody could go throw up an Instagram ad, a Google ad, right? Like they build the systems now where anybody could pop on to do it, right? That's why so many SMBs do that themselves.
Yeah.
As I'm sure your husband knows. And it's like, but when you see somebody on TV or on a billboard, that looks like a boss move because not everybody can do that.
How
you're
do I
not
get
you're-
up there?
Right. You're not seeing everybody every day in a different billboard, right? That's like, oh
That's
shit,
true.
what is Theoni doing? Like,
Yeah.
holy, she's
She has
crushing
that
it.
billboard?
Yeah, damn, that's pretty freaking cool. So that's the one thing though that I like is it builds a different level of credibility with your
Agreed.
consumer.
Yes.
Because your consumer's driving past and like, oh, that's Theoni, and now they're bragging because they're your customer. They've used you before. They're taking a picture. Oh, that's my lender, right? Like whatever. And now it's like because all your competitors, like they're not doing that. Like they're
Right.
not going to invest, X amount of
And
thousands
if
of
they
dollars.
do, they are the most boring billboards.
Right.
It's like we do mortgages, and I'm like, people don't even care about they don't even know how to spell mortgage. You think that they
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
going to call you and be like,
100%.
I want to get the worst thing for 30 years that I could possibly get. Like,
Right.
Talk to me
they're
about
so boring.
numbers for an hour, please.
Yeah. Interest rates in
Yeah.
the
True.
market.
When,
It's true.
when do you think? So obviously, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but when do you think that like most of us would refi?
What's your interest rate?
6.5.
What's your credit score?
Like I think I'm like an 820.
Okay.
Excellent
Probably.
credit
When did you buy?
2022.
6.5.
No, I'm lying. 23.
2023.
Wow.
Yeah, that probably makes more sense with the timeline.
2023.
score. 3 years ago.
You'll probably, if your loan amount is anywhere over 500K, you'd probably benefit from.
I was
five.
a good jumbo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, as soon as those rates hit 5 in front of them for conventional, even if it's like 5.99, that's time for you to refinance.
Yeah.
But not for somebody who has an interest rate that's 6.5 and their loan amount is under 500. Then they would have to wait for a full point.
Got it.
That'll
Got
just
it.
save you an interest. You probably make the same payment,
Yeah.
but you pay so
Which-
much less interest.
Right. Yeah. I just want to. I'm like a monthly got to get that down thing, because we have other investment properties. Like the one that we just recently left was the one we lived in for 4 years, and then we were going to sell it, but then we decided to rent it, and it's doing great, so we love it.
Yeah.
But we got 2.5 there, and I'll never sell that ever,
Ever.
even if there's a fire.
I'm never
free
selling
money.
mine
It's
either.
free money.
I would never,
Free money.
would never do it ever,
Yeah.
ever.
That's-
I would never
that's
sell
where I'm at.
anything ever again, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, it's like, what do you think about the portable mortgages?
I don't think it's going to happen.
You
It's
don't
like the
think so?
50-year mortgage. It's like how every single year the news cycle circulates the same story about
Yeah.
student loans being forgiven. And then I get 7,000 calls of like, now I can finally afford a house because I don't have student loans. And I'm like, that's just a that's like something that they just use
It's a
to
marketing
stimulate
tactic,
the economy. Yes, I'm like, just give me lower inflation rates. Like, don't give me that kind of news.
So I asked that question though because I had a guy who was a client before, and he was a real estate agent, but he was also like he was in politics in New York, and he's been working on this for a while because his whole thing was like, which I theoretically think it makes so much sense. Like if I were to say, hey, my home that I rent now, that I have 2.5% there, I want to bring that with me to this new home. I'm still the same buyer. Right, I'm still the same person. I still have the same credit. Like, what is the difference besides the fact that the rates change, right? Like, but I have this current rate. It's just sliding to a different home. Like that alone seems like it could be scary because of how much people would go back into the market. You know what I mean? Because right now people are like you said, it's free money. So like you can't leave those homes, right? Like, so. But do you not like that? You don't like the boardwalk?
No, because I don't think a lot of people have the same credit, job, or anything. That's why non-QM loans are so big right now. Do you know what those are?
Yeah.
Yeah, because people's income after COVID had to change. People who had restaurants couldn't make it, but then they could qualify when they could make it in 2015.
Yeah.
So they're in homes that like they're just scraping by to get into.
it.
Thank God they did when they did.
Right.
But I think that there's just a lot of, just like anything, like it's like an assumable mortgage. They sound great, right? When you can assume somebody's interest rate, but you still have to qualify for the loan type that they have.
Right.
So if they're in a VA, if they're a veteran and they have a VA loan, you also have to qualify for a VA loan. So
Right.
you too have to be a veteran with the same credit. I mean, it's like, it has to make sense. And I think an assumable mortgage, if it happens, has to have those same boxes.
Like but you know, because like the craziest thing is this. Like I told you a story, so you're probably sick of hearing this, but like what I don't like, my dad, me being the oldest of 5 kids, like, and my dad being like a sole provider, you know, because my mom had to stay at home with the kids after, you know, my dad, like we lived paycheck to pay. The only reason why I started adapting social was because in 2008, he was going to lose the house during the financial crash. So I started this business like to try to help him out of it. And then I just obviously fell in love with it and kept going. But like, the thing is, like, when I think about today's world, like if my dad had 5 kids as a construction worker, right, which he was, like he wouldn't be able to afford to live. And so when I think about like that 50-year mortgage or whatever, because everything is so expensive now. And like the interesting thing about COVID, what COVID taught us was like the best example I give, and you probably deal with this with the restaurant, with like you make your customers pay the percentage credit card fee?
Yes.
Right.
We just started doing that.
Yeah. So like
You guys used to eat the cost.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody did, right? But,
Everybody
But
did.
pre-COVID, it was like, no, people aren't going to come here. Like they're going to be pissed off if you do it.
That's what we all thought.
And then COVID happened, right? And then I'm buying a bagel, and it's like the bagel was $1.50, now it's $2. I'm like, what happened, right? But then guess what? People stopped giving a shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
It
And
just
then
became the new
eventually,
normal.
everybody's like, you know what? Screw it. If you want to use a credit card, that's on you. You're going to pay the fee now.
Absolutely.
But I feel like that whole little thing trampled into like just things costing more and us not caring.
Yep.
And like at the end of the day, like it's funny, even in the kids world, like we had a person on this podcast like 2 years ago, like, and it was like, actually it was longer than that. It was during COVID. But these two one was like a financial broker in New York, and the other one was like a teacher. And because they couldn't go into the office, like they were just like always hanging out and talking and stuff. And then they decided to start a program because one day they're sitting here and the kid broke this like really expensive vase in her house. It was like a really, really expensive vase. And she was so upset. And her son was like, just get another one on Amazon. Order it on Amazon. What do you mean, Mom? Why are you so upset? Right? And it's like, you know, like
disconnect.
Back then, like if I did that in my parent's house, like I would be like, oh my God, the world's over.
Yeah, like,
You'd be hiding,
where are they
trying to
gonna-
fix it. What you
Where
could
are they
do-
going to get another vase like this? Right? This is
Getting
done.
out the Elmer's glue.
This is one of one.
This
You know, but now it's like, oh, screw it. Jeffy B is going to drop it off tomorrow. You know, after he's done taking a dump.
I'm assuming this is the age group of your youngest.
Yes, the 16.
The mentality there
Yes.
is
Replace it.
just replace
Fast.
it. Yeah, quick.
Yeah, you know?
Easy. Nothing of quality anymore. It's just, get a new one.
yeah.
Get a new one.
We were just talking about this with Lululemon. I know that sounds like crazy, but like Lululemon's quality, just terrible. And it's
Terrible.
not just them, but like I still have clothes I bought for them when I was in high school, and I'm 10 years out of high school,
And
and,
they still
some of
are
that is
great.
better
Yeah.
than the stuff I've bought in the last 5 years. And I'm like, why is everything? But it's what you said. People just pay more and expect less now.
It's
very
just
sad.
Yeah.
the standard is so different, and like I think everything across the board, right? Like when you look at even like the old appliances from back then, right? Like appliances back then were
forget
so durable and they lasted forever. Like now you get an appliance, like you don't expect it to last long,
No.
right? Like
5 years
really.
most.
Yeah.
Right. And most people aren't buying KitchenAid, right? Like most
Right.
people are buying like the knockoff versions. And and those things aren't lasting, right? Like but that's a norm.
Yeah.
That's
You
the
know?
new norm.
That's
When
the
I
norm.
bought my house, it came with the oven from 1975.
Oh, that's cool with the handles.
Like it's just old. It's not even like cute old. It's just
It's just old.
it's just
It's
like old.
But it
my
works.
mom loves it,
I
and
love it.
she's a chef. So
Yeah.
anytime she would come, we're renting a place now.
Yeah.
Just to try out like a bigger space. It's like a whole other thing. We're just having fun with it. But she came over the weekend, and she's like making food, and she's like, I kind of miss your old oven. And I'm like, the thing from like,
works
and
better
this is
than
a
the
brand new
works,
house we're
yep.
in, and she's like, I don't like this one, and I'm like, that's crazy.
I showed a house actually last year down in South Jersey somewhere, and they had 3 of these old I guess maybe KitchenAid or GE. I don't know what it was, but like the burners pulled out on a drawer. The
Wow.
oven like opened in its
KitchenAids,
own way,
I
like kind of
think.
like an old like bread drawer, kind of
Oh
where
my
it like rolls
gosh.
up. The coolest, like it has switches on it, not knobs and everything. It was the cool, and the guy had 3 of them in the house. One in the basement, one upstairs, and then one he was like rebuilding. Coolest thing I've ever seen, being in
That is
food
cool.
and beverage. Though I love
Yep.
seeing old stuff like that, and for it to still be in the kitchen and he's using it,
And it's still usable. Yeah.
usable to the point where he has 2 more in the house.
know, that's
It's not like
crazy.
he went out and
wild.
bought new appliances. So
Old but gold.
What's
old but gold.
what's your favorite dish to eat?
Cool.
Like if you're on an island, you can only have one dish for the rest of your life. What are you eating?
Fish. And
What kind of fish?
vegetables. I love snapper
Really?
or branzino.
Okay.
Bronzino's
Either
a
or.
good one. Bronzino's great.
I'm Portuguese, so codfish. You know.
I know you're Portuguese. You
Yeah.
don't look like it. Like
She's gonna be hung up on that.
She's
the whole
having like
time.
a really hard time.
He
believing
is
it.
I am.
Italian. He's Italian. I know it.
because
gotta
he
be.
fits all of
I'm
the
gonna go
boxes
in the
as
car.
an Italian.
Do the ancestry,
you know?
please,
Right,
John.
right. You sort of transfer to Portuguese though.
I know. And then Brazilian, and then this, and then that, and
It's
then
too many.
Polish.
It's too many.
Yes, it's fish.
My-
It's a fake fish.
and the only thing that I wasn't though was Italian and French, and my wife is both of those.
Wow.
She's
Brought it all together.
So now my
the kids literally are
They're
are
all of that.
French, Italian, everything.
The whole entire EU.
They're just all of it.
Yeah.
Everything. And it's
old
funny
United
because my
colors of Benetton.
oh my god, my sons like their backs are like monkeys.
Already?
like they're hairy as hell. I'm like the amount of like,
not
there's
even
such
3
a
yet.
mix of everybody in here that it's insane. It's literally insane.
You're looking like your dad.
Exactly. But so with that said, though, I want to switch gears here. So, obviously, really inspired by your journey right into this country
Yes.
and what you've done, obviously, to get Theoni and your family here. Tell us a little about that, right? So, like, what? Because like I know any of our clients that are international. Like they say that even to this day, it's still very real that like going to America is the dream, right?
It is.
Like
It was.
Yeah.
And for some people, it still is.
right.
For
So-
me, I made it a reality, so it's not a dream anymore. I'm
Exactly.
living in the dream.
That's it. You made
Love
it
that.
happen.
I
Love
did
that.
make it
Literally
happen.
made it happen.
And I would advise anybody, do it the right way.
Right.
The first time.
Okay.
Come in legally.
Right.
Or if you don't, try to get legal documents.
Right.
Become legal.
Right.
That's the only way you can enjoy the dream.
Yeah.
Well, to also understand that too, my mom and I were talking about this a little bit yesterday because I told you guys like every year around the holiday she like kind of recreates the story.
Yeah.
And my birthday's next month, so I always like to ask her like, hey, can you tell me about like what it was like for my birthday? Because it was Albania had just come out of communism rule, and I was born the day that they like, what was it like a bank?
No, all the arm depots were open. We had a whole thing going on.
And
Like,
so they
we
like
went
shut
into
everything
emergency.
down. Yeah.
Oh.
And you
State-
couldn't be
state
on the
emergency.
streets.
And this is the
after,
day
like,
you were
10.
born.
This was the night I was born.
February 10th, 1997.
Yep.
Okay.
So like to kind of paint the picture of what Albania looked like at that time, because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to come to America, but then you don't ever hear about their stories of like why, like what was happening in your country.
Right.
And so like paint that before you tell it as well, because I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that that's important.
Give us the image of what you were leaving
Um,
and why.
we were kind of involved in political. My father, my husband, myself, in a small town. We had to flee the country, period. And we did it. My parents came in first, 3 months before me. They
Okay.
were able to get visas and escape legally
Okay.
again. I was left behind. I had given birth to her. And as she said, February 10th, 1997, that's when all hell broke loose. So you could not get out after 10 p.m. You could not go anywhere. Everybody was armed.
Wow.
They
Like
opened all the-
civilians.
yeah, all the civilians were armed.
Oh wow.
All the depots were open, broken in,
Yeah.
and everybody took arms out of there.
Civil War.
Somehow. Yeah, it was a civil war. If you Google it, it was a civil war. And it happened February 10th, 1997. So I'm breastfeeding. I know.
Dun, dun, dun,
Entrance into the
dun.
world.
Not your daddy's lender.
And I go into labor at 10:30 p.m.
Wow.
And the cutoff is at 10.
So-
And we don't know. So we took the initiative. We're like, you know what?
Screw it, we're going.
We're going. What else could we do? First-time parents.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Terrifying.
That's
Yeah.
terrifying. Yeah.
But then they ended up staying.
You made it to the hospital, I'm
I
assuming.
did,
They
I did,
allowed
I
you
did.
and
And she was
everything.
delivered perfectly fine. Everything was fine. So on the 20th, someday, we left the big city and then we went back to Himara, which is right by the Riviera of Albania.
Very
the south
beautiful
part.
place.
Very pretty place. And back again. I'm breastfeeding her. You have to be not anywhere closer to any windows because you can get shot.
Right.
So in between walls. No electricity, no water. With her in my hip, I had to go down 5 stories
Wow.
Just to get
on
water.
foot to get buckets of water to survive for a
Wow.
whole month or so.
I was going to say how long? For a month.
For a whole month. Wow. And then they would come back, and then they'll come back, and they'll go back out. So finally, it came to a point that we could not do it anymore. Politically, work, and all that, we had to leave.
Yeah.
Physically, I mean, that's
So yeah,
draining
March
and taxing.
2001, pregnant 8 months with my second one, and her 4 years old. I said,
She
you
was
know what?
crazy.
I'm going to my parents. I'm going to go to America. I don't know how am I going to get there, but I'm going to go.
Gotta
I'm not
do it.
delivering this baby here. I don't want to go through whatever we went through.
Yeah.
We're out. If my parents left, I had to leave.
Right.
You could
Well,
do
the fact that you lasted till 2001. You were
4
there.
years of
You try. It was right after communism. You think that things are going to work out.
So things got a little bit better.
Yeah, we became a democratic country, and we were all hoping and wishing that things are going to get better, and we're going to find our way, just like everybody in the European
Right.
Union. Unfortunately, did not work that way. We had to leave the country altogether. So I made it through. My husband had to finalize a couple of things,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Go ahead." And of course, I was a very hard-headed. I'm like, "This baby's going to be delivered in America.
Right. I'm doing it.
I'm leaving."
whether
I
you're
had
there
to.
or not.
Yeah,
I had
he
to.
wasn't. So
So
she
we
was
did
like,
make it
"All right."
here. We went to Canada, then through a truck and trailer.
Wow. How did you find the truck and trailer? You had to connect? You had a guy who had a guy who had a guy?
Yeah.
I like she smirked a little bit. She's like, I still talk to the guy.
I knew a guy.
I sent him our Christmas card every year.
That
He's
was
Theoni's
my-
godfather.
No,
The random
actually,
guy
that
comes to see
specific guy that helped us out has passed, unfortunately, due
rest
to
in peace.
cancer. Rest in peace. But they knew a person that knew a person that got me into a person that had been doing this for a long time. Wow. So we had legal documents to Canada, but then after there, we did not.
was
So
all
I
risk.
had to, we had to improvise. And I thought that she was going to go to sleep and we'd give her like a little bit of like, I don't know, like
A little
sleep,
whiskey to go to bed.
probably something to put her to sleep. But unfortunately, everything nearby the borders was closed, nothing 24 hours. And the whole move should have been within 12 a.m.
Yeah.
The changing of the shifts to 1 a.m. That was it. So get in the truck and trailer where they have all those little shelves they put their
Yeah.
shoes. That's where I am, 8 months old, pregnant with her here,
Oh
Hidden,
my
like
God.
hidden in the boxes,
hidden in the boxes behind the curtains.
praying
and
she
just
doesn't cry or say a
praying
word.
That she does not cry, and they don't see me because
Right.
they searched the entire front and then everything that was in the back, all the logs, whatever they were
course.
carrying. So yeah, that happened. I would say the whole search for me, it felt like a whole entire life.
I can only imagine.
But it was
But
only
I'm
10 to
sweating
15
thinking
minutes,
about it.
and I hear a noise, boom, boom, twice. You know how they knock
Yeah.
out,
That's a-
like you're free, you're good,
You're good.
clear.
Get out of here.
And I'm talking to the driver. I said, "Can I come out?" He's like, "Absolutely not. Don't move. They're
Okay.
watching us still."
Yeah.
So we make it not even 10 or 10 to 12 minutes. We see a McDonald's. He's like, "Now you can come out. We're
Wow.
already in American land."
Wow.
So I take her and I throw her. You know how they have the bed?
Yeah.
I literally throw her. And then I come in the front, and he's like, here you go. I have done a lot of these, but nothing like this.
Right.
I want to cry. And he's like, please, it's my phone number. I want to see if this baby comes out alive.
Oh, that is amazing.
And I did call the guy.
Yeah.
And I
Good.
let him know that my daughter was born and
Because of
everything
him.
was fine.
You could tell you have high integrity, so I'm glad you did call him.
I did.
But you are such you're such a badass.
I
You
know,
are such
right?
a
Isn't that a
badass.
The
Crazy
determination.
Bro, she's pregnant. 8 months
8
pregnant.
months. Oh,
When I was 8 months pregnant with both my kids,
I was just gonna say.
I was
most
like,
women,
please, literally don't talk to me. Literally don't ask me anything. Lose
No.
my number.
bring me my
Don't-
cup of tea.
I'm absolutely
rub
not leaving my
feet.
bed. And she's like, you know what I'm going to do? With a 4-year-old, pregnant, I'm going to come
I had to.
America.
Alone.
I had to.
Yeah.
Alone.
And I'm like, imagine the adrenaline hit that's like, I mean,
Right.
that was probably what got her through all that. All
Absolutely.
the adrenaline.
Wow.
You had
Wow.
to have been
Wow.
in a haze the entire time. Just
We had to.
next
leave.
step, next
Otherwise,
step, next
yeah.
step. Life
It was
was
gonna be
minute
an
by
execution.
minute at
Yes.
that point. There was no tomorrow
to
or
leave.
whatever.
Wow.
It was,
We had
can
to.
I make it to the next minute? And then the next, and then
Yeah.
so on. And wow.
I can, like you said earlier, it felt like a lifetime. I can imagine that entire time in the truck, like, and just thinking, like, what could happen next.
And
But-
praying for her to be quiet.
Right.
Yes.
But I just
You
want
don't
to
have
say,
control
doesn't-
over
yes.
a 4-year-old.
I never doubted my girl Theoni would say something.
I mean,
I just want
was-
to let the record show
Oh,
that.
no.
I was
Knowing
like,
her?
there's a mission.
She's a
She
talker.
ran her. Yeah, she was a talk.
If I
I
stay
was- I
quiet
was a
for this
talker.
truck
I
ride,
talked
I can
to-
talk as much as I want
She
later.
says I talk. Yes, she said I talked the whole time to everybody on the airplane. Airplane
The whole time.
the whole way over. So I had to kind of
Canada?
like talk myself out.
Non-stop.
So I was probably just tired.
You're just exhausted.
And I
But-
cannot say that I'm 8 months. They don't let
They don't let you on the
No.
plane.
Right.
So
oh, my goodness. Yeah, so you had all that, too.
I was going up and down, and blood pressure was going up, down. So
the amount of
girls
stress that
ran.
you had that whole time, and then
It just keeps compiling.
wow.
And
I know.
stress induces labor. That's why a lot of women
Yeah.
Wow.
give
Avoid
birth-
it.
Wow.
avoid it.
As much as
Yes,
possible.
and travel is forbidden during
The
that.
pressure,
you're a
change in
superhero.
flying and everything.
You're a superhero.
Insane.
I'm done.
Which
I
is
had
Yeah,
to
you
do what I
are.
had to do.
which is funny
Yeah,
because then
but
my
not
sister
everybody
got,
would do that.
No.
You know? This is the thing, though. The one thing that I think is so incredible is, like, you don't know love until you have your children like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that out, like, you know, once I had my first child, and, you know, just, like, being there and, like, thinking about what you had to go through, like, knowing my kids, like, I would die tomorrow so that they have a safer future, right? Like, there's
true.
no doubt about that. Like, I wouldn't even think twice about it.
Yep.
But, like, so I understand, like, theoretically, right, that, like, if I was in that position, like, knowing my children, like I would do anything, right? But you
Yep.
being pregnant, like, in
I
your
know.
body going through those crazy hormones and, like, all that stuff, it's incredible that you went through with it, you know, and you made it happen, you know?
We made it happen.
And this is the thing, though, too, like, and obviously, Theoni, there's, like, I ask everybody this, and I typically, like, ask, funny enough, like, dads, because I'm a dad, but I ask pretty often, like, you know, you had an interesting upbringing, right? Like, and then eventually some tough times with your country and decided to
Absolutely.
leave. And, like, and now you're in America. You have a you know, successful restaurant
Which I
and your
love.
family, you
We're
know,
I love being
citizens.
here.
your citizens, everything's great. ICE don't come here.
We are
But-
legal.
We got the docs. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
yeah.
We do.
So, but realistically, though,
Went the legal way.
yeah,
Don't
Yes.
forget that. Very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, and but so, like, the thing though is like when you're like, so now you built this business in America, right? You know, with your family and stuff, and you love it. You're doing
Absolutely.
great. But, like, you know, we say this all the time, where it's like, you know, when you go through tough times, right? Like, your children watch that, and it typically makes them hard. But when people are successful and they make their kids go through easy times because they have a beautiful house and they don't have struggle and they're not going through the shit you went through in Albania,
That's true. Entitlement.
you have a different
Yeah.
child, right? And so that's why, like, you know, I wanted to ask your question on that. Like, so have you had, like, a specific philosophy? Because obviously you grew up knowing this, and, like, you know, and obviously it motivates you, and, like, you talk about your mom all the times that I met you.
I'm retiring her. That's my goal.
Exactly. And so, you know, with that said, though, it's like, what is your mentality on raising kids to have the hardness that you do? Because to do what you did, I think 99% of the women listening to this are like, yo, she's fucking nuts.
Or
right?
lying.
But a
Or
badass.
lying. Yeah, yeah.
Right, like, yeah.
It sounds crazy.
Yeah. But, you know, like, what's your mentality?
I say get them out there to work at a very early age. One. Second, raise independent girls, daughters.
Yeah.
Give them education just for themselves. And I don't think anybody will live whatever we went through. I don't think so. I don't
Yeah.
think those times are gone.
Right.
But don't have your kids depend on you, and do not hand everything to them. That's what I believe.
They need to earn.
I love that.
Their things.
Get
that
them out
keep
there to
their-
work early.
They need to
14
understand
years old,
life.
yes. Put them in a restaurant business. 3 hours a week.
My first
Perfect.
job, I was a lifeguard, 14
you
years
go.
old.
Yep.
But I
Get 'em
learned
out there.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Get
Be
them
somewhere
out
on
there.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. My
Me-
dad always said, like, the reason why we have the restaurant is so that you guys can work here. It was like, we set this up so that, not so that you could just get whatever you wanted because of the money the restaurant makes.
Right.
It's because there's a place for you to go to work and learn.
And
things.
understand that if you want those things from Amazon to be on your doorstep tomorrow, there's a process in order to pay for them, and you have
Right.
to work in order to
Absolutely.
make that
to earn
money.
the money.
I love that you said the restaurant thing though, because so me and my wife both at some points in our lives were servers
See?
and bartenders.
Same.
And and I will never forget like my first, and I was at Ruby Tuesdays back in the day. I was the
Can you
number
picture
one.
him in Ruby
Yo,
Tuesdays?
I was
Little
the,
apron.
I was the. By the way, wait a second. It's funny now, but then I was Johnny Tips. I got the fucking. I had regulars come see me, and I was at a Ruby Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's a thing.
At Ruby Tuesdays, they couldn't believe it when I first started working there. They're like, "Dude, it's crazy. Every Saturday, I had the old geezers come back and see me. I had the couples come back and see me. I had they would come back." But I think the biggest thing though is what I learned and I took away, and luckily me and my wife agreed upon. I was like, when we have kids, like, you learn how to manage money because you're dealing with tips, you're dealing with giving people money back. You have to socialize. You're talking to guests.
People
you have to put on a
skills.
face.
People
Exactly.
skills.
People skills. But also it's so you're multitasking your ass off.
See?
You know
It's
what
a
I
lot
mean?
of mental use.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like
Thinking
it's
like ketchup for
Yes.
that table, like while you're
Forgot
going-
about this one.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
it's
Different face in the
multitasking.
kitchen and different face in the dining room.
100%.
Then you have your managers and your supervisors and this and that. They're talking to you. So you become humbled whether you like it or not.
Very,
Correct.
very
So,
quickly.
Yeah.
14 years old, get them to
Get
work.
out there. And I agree with that wholesomely. I love that you said that though too, because I think at the end of the day, the challenge that we have right now in I think the world, but I'll say this country, is like kids grow up, like even the example of me, right, being the oldest too, and then my younger siblings, right? Like my younger siblings, so I'm 34 and my youngest sibling is 22, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So pretty big age gap. My dad sneezed. My mom got pregnant every time. I don't know. but literally, but when I tell
Those
you,
construction
I don't know
genes.
what happened. Yeah, it was the jackhammer or whatever. I don't know. But I don't know. My dad was a jackhammer guy. Rob knows it too. But anyway, so fast forward. At the end of the day, like when I look at the fact that like my parents would always tell me no, like on Christmas, like they would be like, listen, you could get one gift, like pick what you want, like, and it would have to be like, reasonable. And like my siblings would get the gifts, right? Like, and they would get like what they wanted. And I grew up knowing that. And my dad had alcoholism and stuff like that. So like I had like at like probably 8 or 9 years old, I had to step up as like the father figure for my siblings. And even to this day, if they're going through some shit, like they'll call me and be like, hey, like this is going on. And my dad's like great now. He's awesome. He's turned this shit over like years and years ago. But like they're just used to me still, right?
Yeah, they have that.
And so I had to grow up that way. But like my siblings though, like they were not used to getting no, right? Like by the time like they were a little bit older, it was like everyone had the Razor scooters and like everyone had a PS this, and it was like easier to get stuff. It was getting cheaper and credit was easier. And so like it wasn't just like, because back then my dad was like, if you can't pay cash for it, we're not buying.
Exactly.
You know what I
then
mean?
it became easy access. And then
Right.
everybody
And then it
would-
was like everything
yeah.
was so
Everybody.
easy.
Yes.
Money was just so easy
That
to
is
get.
so correct.
Yeah, so it just changed so significantly. But like to this day, like my siblings, it'll be very different, right? Like, and to the point where like my youngest brother, which shout out to Tyler, sorry about telling the story, but at one
Love you,
point
Ty.
he was in real estate, and doing different things in the wholesale side of real estate. And he was starting to build his business up, and he came to me and he said, listen, like, I'm just starting. I have a couple deals I'm working on. He's like, can I borrow $1,000 from you? And I was like, what do you want the money for? And he was like, well, just to kind of, get me through. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't give it to you. And he's like, what? Like, come on, like, like you got, like, why not? I'm like, Tyler, when I was your age and I was starting Adapting Social, nobody gave me anything.
Nothing.
And it built a different part of me that like I realized that nobody's coming to save me. And I was like, and if you were on your deathbed or something was wrong, like I would take care of everything, right? But this is a learning moment for you. Like you have to go find that $1,000. I'm not just gonna give you $1,000 because now I'm hurting you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and you don't see it that way, but like realistically, that's hurting you by me just giving you that
Taking
money.
away the experience.
Yeah, and like the hardship of it, right? Because like, I said it with Megan on Rising Grind the other day, but it's like everything in this world, and your experience reminds you of this, is all the painful shit in this world. It's like the world is a game, right? And like we have different levels that I believe God gives us. And in each different level, to get to the next level, you have to beat the hard boss, right? And the hard boss is painful. It sucks. It's gut wrenching sometimes. But when you get past it, you get the reward.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why a lot of people don't ever really reach their full potential because they're not willing to be uncomfortable. And I think that's what I said to him. I was like, Tyler, you have to go figure this out, right?
Yeah.
And he did, right? And he thanked me for it later, right? Like at the time, he was like, he was upset with me, and it killed me. It killed me. I was like, dude.
Knowing you, you would have been like, absolutely, let me help. However,
I'll take care of you anyway, because like the people in my life, my family in my life, like like I take care of everybody that I can anytime, right? Like I told Theoni, like I retired my mom a couple years ago when I had my kid. Yeah, and that's why when you told me that,
she's getting there.
I'm getting there, bro. I literally am like 2 years in.
You'll never get her out of the
but
restaurant.
When she
Theoni.
told me that,
Tell her how long it took, please.
So I've been doing this for 18 years, and I retired my mom. So it took me 15 years.
Thank you.
I'm on year 2, bro. I'm working
Yeah,
on it.
she's
We
working.
got this. We got this.
She's working.
I'll be
But-
70 by the time. I'll be collecting Social Security.
But like that's where we vibed out though, right? Because like we were talking
Yeah.
about that, and you said that, and I was like, "Yo, that's why I vibed with you instantly."
That's
because-
why I knew that this would. be
that
show.
that for me was
Show.
like everything, because like through all the BS that like my dad put my mom through, and like all the stuff that we went through, like my mom, like I was my mom's rock, she was my, vice versa, and so but like that's my biggest like important thing, right? And so I think when you look at those things, that's the problem I think with the world now is like there's not parents saying go get a job at 14, go work hard.
Go to a restaurant. Go
Right.
wash dishes.
Do it.
Love
Easiest-
my community in Falston, by the way. Love them. All
Yes.
the support they've been giving us for so many years,
Yes.
13 years and 14
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them. But I see some great families, wealthy families that send their kids at 14.
Yeah.
Go do dishes.
Yeah.
And I like that you just said wealthy families. It's because those are the people who know that this is what is going to create
build character.
that character
Yeah.
in their child, and not be another, it's going to come on from Amazon tomorrow.
Absolutely
type
not.
mindset.
Can you
Absolutely
just text
not.
Phil real quick that we're going to be
Oh yeah,
30?
definitely.
But so that's awesome. And so what if you could go back, right, to 2001, when you pretty much were just starting to be Theoni's sister.
Thank you.
What advice
Whole
would
dinner
you-
on me.
what
Era
advice
Capella.
would you give yourself? Like knowing everything that you know now, having grandkids, like going through what you've gone through, having all your daughters, living your dream. Like what advice would you give yourself in the most vulnerable moment that you had in that
I
experience?
don't think I would have done anything different than what I did. The only thing that I really regret is not having any financial knowledge.
Like coming here and not knowing that.
I had zero financial knowledge.
Right.
The only way we knew is work, and then work some more, and then work harder. We'll get you
But
somewhere.
that's better financial knowledge than most of this country has already anyway.
No,
I think
mean
when-
like building some kind of a generational wealth
Investment
or investment
style. Like
here.
the work that you put in when
Exactly.
you were first here, and she
That's
was
the
still a
only thing.
child.
But I would have never changed a thing.
Yeah, and I love that. But I think though, that's why I believe immigrants that come to this country, right? Like my grandfather from Portugal, like he brought his whole family over here and stuff like that. But he never became an entrepreneur. He did what you just said. He worked construction
work,
and he worked. But like when you look at like our school systems, right? Like Theoni, you and Chris could say, like our school systems don't teach about money.
No.
Like
No.
and
No,
most,
not at all.
most of our like my family, for a majority of like a lot, I don't want to insult them, but like most families are financially illiterate. All you know is go to work, pay your bills, and that's you're living your life. Like you have a home, great, cool, right? Like and that's pretty much what
the
they learn.
American dream.
Right. And like, but like nobody, like that's why, but the problem is though, is that not most people do the work part. Like some people go to work and they just aren't making ends meet and they're just complaining about it. Versus when you're an immigrant, you can't do that. You have to work 3 jobs or 2 jobs or 4 jobs. And,
Absolutely,
and,
yes.
And so like, I think the mindset there, and that's why entrepreneurs that are immigrants typically are so successful because there is no
Absolutely.
failure. You're going to keep moving. You're going
We're
to
all
keep showing
in.
up every day.
All in.
Yeah.
You can't.
There is no
100%.
backup.
You're burning the boat. You're
That's
taking the island.
All
That's
in.
it. You're
in.
getting the snapper fish. So But now, Theoni, on your side though, I want to understand though, like, as that being your, because that has to be so, like, I'm trying to picture myself being in your shoes and like understanding the gift that your mother gave you to come to this country, and obviously you adore her, but like, what has that set for you as a mother that you want to do for your kids?
I mean, I love that what you just said about there is no failure. I attach my success to my inputs and not my outputs, and that's what I learned when I grew up. It wasn't about like how much money did this job make you. It was about the fact that you showed up, and even if it made you nothing, you knew that like you just put in the same rep the next day, and it was going to eventually.
Boom.
So I mean, I just saw that
Consistency.
constantly. Yeah, I mean, I was raised by my grandma because my parents were never home.
Right.
Because they were working.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
hey, she
and
got you here, okay?
Yeah, like I don't
Give her a break.
regret it. Like it wasn't a bad experience. Like my grandma fed us. Like, you know, she's
For sure.
Like I've only seen women who like dedicate themselves to just
Like
doing
100,000% in.
Like there is no half-assing anything. It's like you're all in, and that's just what I've seen my whole life, and that's why with lending it is the most boring thing, right? Like the industry, like nobody comes here and they're like, I'm going to be a mortgage lender. You know, like nobody wakes
That's
up.
what I'm going to school for.
Yeah, and they're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? A mortgage lender. Like no one says that. But when you're all in on something, you just see the potential in anything you do. Like I could have chosen anything, and I know I would have been successful because I was raised with that like
That mentality.
input.
You know, and I think that says a lot though, because I think when you look at there's only like two ways, like really, like I feel like kids who are from entrepreneurs, you have some kids who are just like lazy bums, right? That are like, I want everything given to me. And then you have kids who see it and they're like, well, I want to replicate that success, right? Either in their own business or in their parents' business, take it over. But you know, it's tough though, because like I have a friend who believes that like no matter what you do, like he spoils his kids, and he goes, John, I don't think anything you do. They're their own person and they're going to be who they're going to be. They just have to have my love regardless. Like, I want them to be like, we got on that topic, by the way, because we were talking about like sleep training, right? And my wife is a tough cookie. Like, so like the kids got to cry for a couple minutes before like we go in and say what's up. I'm like, they're dying. I'm like, we got to get in there. But Jack's like, no, they're good. They're good. But so literally, you know, so we talked and he goes, how could you let your kid cry like that? Like, you know, and so he's like, they're going to be in there thinking like, what did I do? Why won't they come get me? And I'm like, damn, now I feel even more like shit.
Yeah, he's just building the guilt on
now to like take the doors off the rooms. But it's like one of the things where it's like, when you think about it, like, you know, his aspect is he doesn't believe that, like, he thinks if you do everything you do to make these really great personally developed children that think the right way, whatever, that they're ultimately going to be who they're going to be anyway. So he's like, I think that like I'm gonna choose that for them to be like, wow, dad loved me so much. He was always there. He spoiled me, but I am who I am and whatever. Where I'm on the polar opposite side of that, right? Where I'm like, I love my kids to death. I do everything for my kids. Like I will do anything. But luckily my wife helps me too. She's the tough one. But like I want them to have that structure where they know you're getting your ass a job at 14.
Foundation
15,
starts
you
at
know,
home.
like,
Yes.
and one thing I'll tell you, actually, we didn't talk about this yet because we had a podcast after this with what the hell was his name? The guy with the mind power dude. Oh, with Scott. And
Oh,
the guy.
Einbeiner. Good guy.
But-
Shout out Scott.
But he told a story about how he teaches his kids the power of their mind and thought early. So he's
his partner.
His partner. So he was like, my
Manifestation.
kid. Yeah, manifestation. He said to his kid, he goes, I'm going to teach you something, but you have to be very careful because this can translate into like really powerful things. And his son was like, I think like 5 or 6. And he was like, what? And he's like, all right, so it's
cool.
It's called mind power, right? And he goes, and so when you think about something and you really, really want it, you have to go and visualize it. So we're going to cut out a piece of paper that has whatever on it and put it under your bed. And every night, look at it and think about it, and then put it on your bed again, look at it in the morning, and then eventually it'll happen.
Manifest.
So he was
Exactly.
like, Dad, I want to get a Batman toy, right? And he's like, all right, so let's go clip out a picture of Batman, put it on your bed, do the whole thing, right? So 4 or 5 days in, he woke up and it was in front of his door. He's like, oh my God, Dad, it worked.
Dad Amazon the Batman.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Yeah,
It's
he's
here.
like- he's
Mind
like-
power.
He's like, Dad, it worked. Yeah, he's like, Dad, it worked. And so he's like, okay, you know, what else should I think about, right? And then fast forward, you know, he's picking him up from football practice, him and his wife, and he's in the car and he goes, Dad, I figured out what I want next. He's like, what do you want? And he's like, a cat. and
And the dad's thinking terrible. He's like, oh, shit, like
Like, I don't want a cat.
fuck, we're not getting a cat.
Yeah, so
there's
he-
no chance we're getting a cat.
so he
looks at
tells
his wife.
Yeah, he tells his wife, he's like, we're not getting the cat. Like, we can't. And then he sat him down. And he goes, son, listen, like, we can't do the cat. We don't want a cat in this house. Like, so, think about something else. He goes, no, I want the cat, right?
Oh,
So he's
Young-
envisioning this cat, and that night, it was that night. The dad went out to go throw some trash out or something, and there was a cat walking around in his yard, and he's like, weird, strange. Goes back out the next night, and he sees something come running up under his porch, and then
Well, they're hearing meows at night.
Yeah.
It's like they keep hearing, like, at night.
runs under his porch and then darts away. The same cat that he saw the night before.
Wow.
So he thought that it had like a mouse or something like dead, and he was just gonna like go put it there and come back and eat it later. Every night, the dad would start to go out around 10 o'clock when he saw the cat, and he'd start to hear these meows under the porch. 2, 3, 4 days later, same week probably, he goes out, looks under the porch, and it's a cat. It's a kitten that the mother cat that he first saw dropped off. It wasn't a dead animal or anything.
Wow.
And he picks it up and goes inside, and he tells his wife, and like, this cat, this was outside, da-da-da-da. And his son comes running out of his room and just looks at him and goes, Dad, that's my cat.
That's my cat, Dad.
Wow.
And,
So the
and he's-
power,
Oh,
like,
wow.
Yeah, and he goes,
I
yeah.
love that.
it blew his kid's mind, but it also blew
His
his
mind.
mind that it's real when you manifest things and you put the energy and the effort into what you want to become or what you are looking for.
Yeah.
The universe will provide it for you in a very, very weird but impactful way. And he blew his own mind because he was the magic power. He was the mind
Yeah.
power. He was Amazon. Okay, Batman. Okay, Spider-Man. Whatever
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
But
Cat.
a cat,
Then he actually.
That showed up.
and that, yeah.
Amazing.
It's wild.
It gave us chills when he was telling us the story because you could see
Amazing.
the emotion in him and like
when he said it.
he.
But additionally, though, he said because like on 7 days, he's also religious too. He was saying on the 7th day that's when he got in the Batman, and that's when whatever. And like he's like leading up to that 7th day, like that's when the cat
Showed
the
up.
kitten came out. And he's like, I couldn't believe it. Like it was insane. And you and I got the chills. We're like, what the hell?
Yeah, literally
This
jaws
is-
dropped, just like what?
Insane.
I love that.
Yeah.
I also love, we've been shifting a lot towards reading the Bible and telling the kids the stories.
Love that.
I didn't really grow up with religion. Albania was shut down during communism.
Right.
So like you couldn't practice. So it's been a really cool thing for like religion to enter into my life because now I'm teaching it to my parents.
I love that.
But that's the same thing. Like I tell my kids the same thing. I'm like, if it's meant for you, pray about it. And if it's like supposed to be that way, God will provide.
One of the things, though, as we get close to the end here, that I love that you said, though, is like, I heard this by one of these like digital pastors, or whatever, like a Stephen Furtick. I've never heard of him.
Yeah.
But he was saying something how like he's like, God is not a chair or table maker. He's a tree maker, right? Like you have to make the table, you have to make the chairs, right? So he's not gonna make the shit you want,
See, you
right?
got chills.
You gotta put the work in.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like at the end of the day, it's why it's like whether it's manifestation or whatever else, it's back in the day, everyone used to say knowledge is
Power.
right, but it's actually execution, right? And I think that's the issue is that like people who are forced, like, whether it's like you and your family coming here or somebody who just grew up in a tough environment like I did when I grew up, like you don't have a plan B because there's no plan B.
There isn't.
Like when I started adapting social, when I first started it, it wasn't like, hey, if this doesn't work, my parents can give me some money to keep
Yeah,
it going.
right.
It was like, my ass is going back to Ruby Tuesdays.
Johnny
And by the way,
Tips.
they went out of business. Johnny Tips.
You could have saved them.
Some say that the regulars stopped coming. And I don't know, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's one of these things where it's like you have to like really execute. And like for people listening in, like in the younger people especially, like I think if like anytime people ask me like, because I didn't go to college, like I'm not the smartest person in the room. I have way smarter people around me than I am by far, but I don't stop working, right? Like I will execute every day of the week. I won't stop working, and that's where I pull ahead of my competition and whoever else. And I think that element of execution, people like, again, like I gave you the one quick little like fill in the blank. It's like, it's ready, aim, fire, right? And for me though, like my whole mentality is ready, fire, aim, because I can recalibrate. Like if I do something too quickly, if I move before I'm ready, like that's okay. Like if God gave me tomorrow and I woke up, like I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Pivot and
You know what I
keep
mean?
moving forward.
That's
Yeah.
it. So I just think people out there got to start doing that stuff because, I have really smart friends and family, right, that are like geniuses, right? But the smartest people are the people who are smart themselves out of being into success
Yes.
or business.
We just talked about this yesterday.
Yeah.
And my sisters were asking, what is the difference between you and somebody who's more successful than you? And I said, speed to implementation.
Yeah.
Always. It's
100%.
not smartness. It's not. I said, by the time that you sit, think about it, plan your A, B, C steps, I have already failed and tried 3 more times
Yeah.
and have gotten closer to the thing.
Yep.
That's all it
100%.
is. It's the speed. But there's just so much information out there that you're an analysis paralysis, and it's very easy to fall into it.
Yeah. We're inundated with information, but like starving for like truth,
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Me and Megan were just talking about that. I was actually in the middle of a transaction and kind of backtracking. Me and my wife were at the doctor's, and the doctor said something to us, and we both instantly after they left went to ChatGPT to verify what the doctor said. It's so
So much information at your fingertips.
so much information
Yeah.
that we have access to that we're now almost discrediting the human side of things, because for me as a realtor, I provided information to somebody one time and they came back to me questioning my expertise in what they were looking for an answer to. They ended up going, searching, speaking to their lawyer who told them the exact same thing I did. So it validated their credibility, but it's the world that we live in now. Everybody is so quick to go to that information piece that, okay, yeah, you told me that, but is it true? And do you know what you're talking
It's
about?
like a
And
court of law all the
it's
time.
and it makes these more in-person interactions more difficult, because it's so easy for somebody to fall victim to, oh well, that's what ChatGPT said, or that's what Google said, and the internet doesn't have all of the answers. If you truly listen to someone who's experienced something and gone through like your years of experience in mortgage lending, there's elements of your experience that you've gone through that the internet's not going to share with them.
Ever.
That you can truly provide somebody an understanding of what it's like to be in that situation. And that's, I think, where the human side of things gets disconnected with the over inundation of technology and our access to everything now.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a scary time for sure, but I also think it's really fun.
It is a fun time. And if you can capitalize on it.
Yeah.
And
Well, in scary times, that's where there's opportunities. You know?
Always.
That's for sure. So, all right, where can people find you guys? This is where you plug your business and plug your business, where they can find you
oh yeah,
guys.
we definitely want to come to the restaurant.
Oh my gosh, you guys
Acapella Italian Restaurant, 2402 Pleasantville Road, Maryland.
Boom.
They're on
Love it.
Acapella MD. Is their
Everybody
handle.
gets dinner on me.
I love it.
I love that. I love it.
You'll see her back there. And I'm Theoni the lender, not your daddy's lender. You can look me up anywhere. I don't think there's another Theoni out
Yeah.
there really.
Yeah, very unique.
But not your daddy's lender. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram.
And,
Where did that- where did
billboards all throughout Delaware.
Yeah, coming soon. Coming soon. Where did you get the name Theoni? Like, what does that mean? Like, what does
A
it mean
gift
to you?
from God.
Oh,
It's
that's,
in the Greek language.
that's
yes.
amazing.
oh, you set her up. You
did.
set her up for.
They might have
Unique.
not known a lot about, and this was the other thing. I was like, Mom, you guys didn't even know God. And she was like, I know, but it like lingered. Like they would still say like, oh, God help us, even though nobody knew.
Right.
So that's how that, I was,
That's
'cause I was
amazing.
like, what does that mean?
That's beautiful.
That is amazing.
Greek name. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She's
thank you-
unique.
Yeah, she is unique.
Thank you so much
Yes.
for having us.
No, thank you guys for both coming, for making the trip, right? So how long was it for you to get here from where you are? Like, how long would it take technically for you, from us to get to your restaurant?
From Maryland?
3.
3 hours and a half.
Okay, that's not bad.
3 hours.
And then how was it for you?
Doable.
Probably like 4, because I have to
Okay.
go all the way up to Newark from down.
Oh,
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm at the
Well,
bottom.
anyway,
The ferry.
I didn't do the ferry
You didn't
this
do the
time,
ferry. Okay.
but I would have.
Yeah. Is it easier?
No, it's just
you
less driving, but it doesn't actually kill any time.
It's the exact same thing. Yeah, because you still have to get on dock on the whole thing. Yeah.
But on those boats, they got a couple cocktails.
They sure do.
Come on, a couple. At least you're a little loose while
They
you're on the
sure
boat.
do.
Look at it.
Yeah, but then you gotta drive.
Then you have to
What's
drive.
going
Yeah, then,
on?
then you're in
Drive.
Jersey and you
Well,
got to drive
a
up the
couple hours,
parkway.
Doesn't after it takes an hour to get out of your system if you have one cocktail. But anyways,
Sober up.
I think time is the one asset we don't get back. So both of you being here today means the world to me.
Thank you very much.
Super inspired by your story. Thank you
Thank
for
you
sharing
for
it with
having
us
us.
here.
Appreciate it.
And Theoni, super excited to see you continue to grow your business.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This was awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Boom.
Thank you for watching The Breaking Barrier Show. Tune in on all podcast and streaming platforms.